Hi, we're Team 6. We're here to do our final reflections on everyone else's reflections. I'm Daniel,
I'm Sean. Hello.
I'm Emily.
I'm Michelle.
and we're going to start off with BLCM.
A lot of people in this group, like many groups, talked about their favorite book other than the textbook that they liked. These group members all seem to like Carnegie a lot, which I agree with.
I don't agree with.
Personally,
I like
we have
Blink
some
better.
differing opinions.
It was okay.
I mean, Carnegie was good, but Blink was better.
I don't know, I related more to Blink, honestly. I think Blink had a lot more interesting details and facts that I just kind of got more in tune with, so I could understand it more.
Better stories.
Better
I think.
stories.
But I liked
Yeah.
the advice in Carnegie, I guess.
Yeah. So, strictly advice speaking, I guess, Carnegie
Yeah.
was pretty good. And I can totally see where they come from, taking advice from Carnegie. I just think most of us would agree we preferred Blink.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
One of the things that they said that they really liked, which I remember really liking when I read Carnegie, but we didn't talk about it in our video, our reflection video, was the thing about calling people by their name. Like really helps them like you and feel comfortable, whatever. And I remember liking that when I read it because I think that's true for other people, and also I know it's true for me. Like when someone like says my name, it's just like an instant, like I instantly like feel better,
Oh, I know what
that
you're
they
saying.
like me more or something like that.
Are you going to become Andy from The Office? Repeating names.
I haven't seen The Office,
Oh, awkward.
so I don't know.
You should.
All right.
Name repetition to succeed. That's his goals.
Oh,
Oh,
Their
jeez.
strategies.
What I found, a key point that they brought up actually that I hadn't thought of before, but actually makes sense. Like I've thought of it, but in terms of this class and doing our videos, I didn't think of it. And it was the only way to win an argument is not to argue, walking away. I mean, we hear that all the time.
yeah.
Turn the other cheek, walk away. Don't argue with someone who's arguing a dumb point or just some pointless argument.
The bigger man is the one who can walk away. But at least from my experience, if you're a philosophy major or into philosophy, it's usually the one who doesn't argue is the weaker one.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, well,
Turn
that's
in the
that's
tables.
different, but
the other side.
And
Different viewpoint, obviously.
yeah, of course. But I think that point was kind of interesting, just because when I heard that, I thought, wow, that makes perfect sense. But I never picked that up during this session. I never read it anywhere or heard it. So I don't know how I missed it, but I'm glad they mentioned it because it's a point that I think everyone should sometimes use, and in other instances, you should not.
Especially in group work.
And I also think it's really important in any future job that you have because at some point you're not going to like what suggestions are being brought to the table, but you can't really get angry.
You have to maintain your composure and keep it together.
So these are all more key points that we liked, but I haven't not really a negative, just a little distraction that I saw during the video was that the laptops were completely up, and sometimes I couldn't quite I felt like I could see them, but then like the voices sometimes got muffled, and every now and then it wasn't really too much of a big deal, but it was one of those slight things. I kind of noticed that maybe if the laptops were a little out of the way, it'd make the video better.
Or if the video camera was higher up, you can see more of the faces.
There we go. Yeah.
And they spoke upwards like this.
But other than that, I thought it was a good video.
And their volunteering seemed
Oh,
really
yeah,
interesting.
sorry.
Hope House. You said you volunteered there?
Yeah, I've made donations and run some things through the school for getting people, specifically women, to volunteer there.
It sounded really interesting. My roommate volunteers there sometimes.
I don't.
All right.
Okay, but moving on to Team NAC.
One of the things that I thought was interesting that definitely is something I didn't think about or wasn't really true to me, I guess. Someone said that delegation in Chapter 7 was really interesting to them because they struggle with that. Like, they don't want to delegate out tasks to people. They kind of just want to do it all themselves. And I find that that's exactly the opposite for me because I like giving other people tasks to split up the work and, so it's not all on you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in group work because it's good to know who's doing what and when it will be done, and knowing that ahead of time means that you're not going to be duplicating something or missing something else.
It's kind of the whole point of a group project,
Yeah.
too. Everyone does a little bit of the work to make the whole work go by easier. I think it was a lot of examples they didn't steal, sorry. A lot of examples they took from Carnegie. I believe it was Carnegie. Was it Carnegie?
Yeah.
Okay.
They also discussed the Blink versus Carnegie, and their group was more split just like ours, with some liking Blink better and some liking Carnegie better.
Right, so I like that, like the other group before, but this group also had lots and lots. I can't remember all of them, but I know that they brought many examples between Carnegie and their own group and the group project. What do you call it?
Volunteering.
Yes, thank you. The volunteering hours. Sorry, the volunteering hours. They drew lots of comparisons in between there, and I liked that a lot when I was listening to the video.
Yeah. Another thing at the end when they talked about their group takeaways, like overall what they thought was most important as a group. One of them, they thought they really liked doing the blog as a group, which I kind of disagree, or it's like something I didn't really think about because I totally kind of like forgot that we had a group blog because like we kind of like only used it in the beginning, and it was helpful then, like they said, to get to know the group because you posted all your group like activities and icebreaker things, and so that was really good. But then we kind of like never really used it again unless we like posted a video, but that was like very rare.
On blog?
And
Yeah.
when
On our
we posted
group
the
blog.
videos on the group blog, that was just so it was on 2 places, and it was mainly supposed to be on Canvas.
Yeah, so it was cool, but it wouldn't have been my biggest takeaway as a group.
All right. Moving on to the next group was the Dream Team.
Yeah, I think theirs was my favorite volunteering. With the helping
the
the
dogs?
dogs. Yeah. They
Yeah.
said there were only like 3 or 4 dogs left when they were done, and they all got adopted and stuff. Like that
That's
was
so
really
cool.
cool.
Definitely sounds fun.
Yeah,
Too.
it sounds
I'm
like
a
they
dog.
did a really good job.
I'm a dog guy too, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's so
Very
sweet
exciting.
and fun.
I kind of wish we had found that one.
I know. It would have been fun.
It would have.
And they also were smart with the delegation of their hours. They did a lot of the volunteering on the weekend, which in the beginning we did the volunteering during the weekdays, which might have been easier for us, but I guess for their group they liked the weekend. And it was nice for them to all come together. Whereas, like Hannah said in the video, it set the bar for group activity, and it definitely showed that they had the dynamics because they were in someone else's house and you're sitting on couches and someone's child comes in, dog comes in. And it really did look, excuse the cheesiness, but like a family.
Yeah, they seemed very relaxed during their video. I agree with Sean. I thought it was kind of amusing too. Their group project or service hours were dealing with dogs, and during the video, some dogs kept coming into the video. But they all seemed very relaxed. They all got to know each other, by the looks of it, very well. And they got along well, and like the rest of us, they knew the material. They did a good job putting in comparisons and drawing from both books and the blog. So I like that.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting about one of their dislikes from the group was one of them didn't like the intro group videos that they did, like back when we did like the get to know you kind of things, and like the videos we had to watch before we started the group, where I don't know what you guys think, but I thought they were helpful because like you never really practice being a group project. You just get put in group projects and you have to like deal with it. But like here we had to like focus before we actually were a group and like learn how to like be a good group and like go to meetings and delegate stuff and pick a leader and have a
I
role.
think
Have a
those
schedule,
videos weren't
yeah.
necessarily the most enjoyable, but they're extremely useful.
Yeah.
And like, while we might not like specifically remember the videos, the tools that we got from them we're gonna keep forever.
They're definitely the most pragmatic thing we have learned.
Yeah.
And they're not applicable to one situation. They're more like tangible in what we get.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Thank you.
And that being said, moving on to the next group. The next group was Fantastic Five.
Yeah, so they did a good job and they had a lot of good things to say, but it didn't feel very like personal. It sounded very rehearsed, and they read like straight off of a script, which sounded. I guess any team can do what they want. Like we like to have conversations. Other people like to like practice their individual things. So it's whatever a group wants to do. But it sounded a little bit more stiff. But that's fine.
The information they included though was really good. Like they
Yeah.
delved into detail and they knew what they wanted to say, which is always nice to be prepared. But again, it did seem a little like impersonal.
I liked, like you said, they did read off the screen, but all the information they had was spot on, in my opinion.
Put together.
Everything that they said was from the book. So they read the material. They know what they're doing. When they switched between each other, they all had a very organized way of making sure everyone spoke. They got all their details down, and I really liked, especially their volunteering hours. They did the food drive, the food drive. That was actually our original choice, but I'm not sure why did we change it? We just decided to do Goodwill.
Goodwill was easier.
No, the day of the week we had wanted
that's
to do.
right.
It used to be Wednesday, which worked for all of us, but it had been changed to Tuesday, which did not.
Right. So scheduling wise, it didn't work out, but the food drive was something we were interested in originally, and I feel like it was similar to us because at Goodwill we spent a lot of time sorting through toys and pictures, anything that anyone donates,
Clothing,
electronics, and they did something similar. With just the food, they spent a lot of time organizing, and I really liked actually how they split it up. They didn't always have to go as a group. Sometimes they said in pairs or like 3 of them at a time, all at different times. And I thought it was kind of unique because I didn't even think about doing that. I just, we always went as a group together. And for us, it was more of a necessity because we needed to go in Emily's car. Emily drove us every time.
Thank you.
She's the MVP.
And I guess for them, it was easier. But I thought that would have been kind of interesting to also imply, going, because when you go one-on-one with somebody, you tend to open up, I guess, more and just kind of talk more because you don't want to just stand there and not talk. That's just awkward. So I like that a lot.
Gotten to know each other, all of us together.
So yeah, I really liked their the group project. I thought that was a really good point, a good choice for them.
Yeah, and I liked how they went around. They also, like some other groups, went around and each said something that they thought was like a big group takeaway. And one of them that I didn't think about before was the fact that a lot of times a problem in a group is putting your own success before the group's, which I don't think I've really seen that or like found that as a problem. But now that I think about it, it could be. And they said they like worked on it and they got better and like realized that they needed to work as a group to get a good grade. And that's really good.
I like that. The next group that we're moving on to is NK and J.
I loved their slideshow showing us the pictures of them volunteering. Thought that was really cute. A good addition.
I really think their formatting was unique because we could see the information they wanted us to see, but they could comfortably run the video so without like feeling like they had to sit a certain way or like look a certain way if anyone's concerned about that, because I know a lot of people do get self-conscious on video, but I thought it was like really professionally done.
Yeah.
I thought it was unique.
Yeah.
Completely, because they had their video in the top corner and then they had the slideshows. And that was a great chance to really show us what they did. Because their service project was completely different, I think, from a lot of ours. A lot of us was very, much simpler, I think. Theirs, they actually had to spend a lot of time outdoors working, sweating.
Yeah, tough.
I really didn't sweat much working at Goodwill.
It was nice and cool.
It was nice and cool. We had AC. But their slideshow was great. Their service project was fantastic. I agree. Mm-hmm. And the only thing is slightly, I think, was a slight hindrance to their video was that once the slideshow was over, the screen was still small. It was.
Couldn't see them.
Yeah, I liked listening to them absolutely when they were going over their group work and having the visuals to put with it. But once that was over, there was no visuals, so it was just hard to see, and we could hear them okay. Sometimes the hearing was also off, and that was the only thing I think I would fix, making their screen expand again once the slideshow was over. But other than that, I loved it absolutely.
Yeah. Another thing they talked about that I totally agree with, they talked about how they, for a lot of when we had to comment as a group on things, because we had to comment a lot, so it was hard to meet up that many times, and they talked about how they used Google Docs, and they would put a few comments and then combine it as a group, which is exactly what we did, and we found that it worked really well. And we didn't talk about that in our
no,
video,
we did, yeah.
But it's a real thing that really helped us.
That's something I really liked taking away from all the videos is that they brought up points that I had not thought of or didn't think of and didn't even hear. So going back and reading through, watching all of them, I think helped me realize there was more to it than I had originally thought.
Yeah, they also talked about the confusion in the beginning of the class because it was like an online class.
We all knew them.
Yeah.
We all felt that.
Yeah, definitely, but we didn't all talk about it
too
much. We might have talked about it a little. And how
I like the fact that they did because I know we didn't really talk about that.
Oh, I did.
We talked about a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, so I'm glad other people
it's good
also
to see
other people also recognized that there was a slight issue at the very beginning, but got resolved and continued on.
It was an interesting. It was an interesting online class. It was more difficult to. Some you just like go right into and it's like just kind of like a normal class just online, but this one was definitely different. And they talked about how like at the beginning there were so many questions on like the Facebook and on the Canvas, and then at the end we all kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
And it helped us, and we got better.
The last group, running on empty, couldn't quite find the video.
Yeah, we
we
know
we
he
looked
said,
it up. We know they put it up there, but we did not watch the video. We couldn't see quite where it was. So
What happened was
I didn't see it. Sorry, I didn't see it.
they put their peer eval up on the final reflection one, and I guess they didn't. We couldn't find their actual reflection video, but
we're assuming maybe they emailed it and didn't post it.
Or like,
So
I'm sorry, continue.
yeah,
Like before, where they posted the URL to the link based off of the uploader's perspective. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, when you sign in and you go in to the videos you've uploaded and you paste that URL rather than like the outsider's
yeah.
link to the video.
But without having seen it, I'm sure just like the rest of us, they was pretty good. All the videos all together were pretty spot on, if you ask me. I liked everyone had great points to bring up. Everyone had a slight issue, I guess, but nobody's perfect. Once we if we figured those out earlier and fixed them, everyone's videos would be perfect. So I liked all the videos and all the takeaways I got from them. You guys?
definitely agree with that.
All right. Well, we're Team 6, and thanks for listening.
Great class.
Thank you.